Sorry, I couldn't find your link.
Yeah, who knows? My email is always acting kind of weird.
Well, a lot of the times I get links 15 minutes after the fact.
Wow. Yeah.
And I have no idea why that is, but
yeah.
It's actually safer to text it to me.
Hello, Dr. Taylor. How's it going?
All right. How are you today?
Doing excellent. Doing excellent.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
All the things. I'm not sure. Probably a college professor.
Yeah, scary, right?
No, it seems like a lot of fun. Seems like a lot of fun.
All right. So we really just need to be clear because you've gone back and forth several times and it seems like it's always just a little short of what we were thinking it was going to be. So we thought we'd just have a little conversation and make sure we all get on the same page and get you moving through to the next stage finally, right?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay. I know your basic study idea. Remind me of your research question exactly.
Let's see. I have to pull those up to make sure I get them right on point for you.
Always get the wording right because that determines everything.
Right.
And I would say that that's been where we've gone back and forth and really had trouble narrowing that or really focusing that. So
yes, so Ron, you should actually pull that up and then share it with us so we can be looking at the words all at the same time and make sure there's no wires crossed.
Yeah. Now, Ron, I can't see you. You may need to start the video on the bottom.
Okay, hold on one second. Start video. Okay, can you see me now?
There we go.
Okay, great.
Kind of dark, but yes.
No, you're good.
All right, I can cut a light on. Lights are already on.
All right. Well, more important than your face is the questions. I mean, we're all pretty and everything.
Right.
Yeah. Share that screen.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, my computer's just having a little slow this morning.
I got it.
It's pulling up PowerPoint right now.
I got it called up too, so we can get to it. Oh,
okay. I can see your screen, Dr. Gonzalez.
Okay.
All right. Background of the study.
Nope.
Intro. And
should be right.
Almost there.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, so question. So
perception of that the rising cost negatively affects student retention rates. And the rising cost negatively affects graduation rates. Okay. Now, Dr. G, are these questions we're sticking with?
I mean, I think we could tweak them if we needed to. Really, Dr. Taylor, I've had trouble really.
Well,
like I said, focusing them. But
if question one is your main question,
that's as good as we've gotten up to this point.
Right. Because really, it's about their experience. What is their perception of their lived experience as a person paying college tuition and trying to stay in college, basically.
Right.
Does that sound right, Ron?
Yes, that sounds accurate.
Okay. So, and you have talked about interviews, and you were going to look at some numbers and some data, and that's part of the story. But what other forms of data other than interviews and that are you looking for?
So this is mostly a qualitative study. I mean, I could add as
Oh,
many numbers as I
Right.
needed
Yeah.
to.
Well, and in
But I have
qualitative,
data
we
from the
do,
TBR that show recent graduation rates and retention.
right, and that's all background stuff. When you do qualitative, I'm looking for 3 forms of data minimal. That's triangulation, and right now the qualitative data is interviews. So
Right.
I keep looking
So,
for 2 more sources of data.
yeah.
so
Ron,
are you referring?
think of it last time we met and what we talked about in the
So
conversation we had, and we kind of like we need 2 more because you have the interviews, and you and I spoke.
okay.
What else
So
can we bring in?
surveys. Yeah.
Okay.
So one would be a open-ended survey question, and then the other one would be, let's see, I
Now,
think
who's
it's
getting
the
surveyed?
focus group.
6?
A focus group.
Okay, but the interview is with 6 people.
Right. Correct.
Who is the focus group with?
It would be with the same 6 people,
Okay,
but in a
so
group as
that
opposed
would
to
be
individually.
a follow-up. And who's getting the survey?
So all 6 participants would get the survey. Now the participants would come from different backgrounds and different classes. So like, some people will be lower class, middle class. Some people will be upper class.
Let me jump in, Dr. Taylor. I think another thing Ron talked about, doing the 6 interviews, right? Just straight interviews. And the survey, he has access to the university and can get, and he could,
Correct.
do a random open-ended survey. I know we talked about that as well. Would that work with this type of study? Or
Actually, what I would envision with these 3 forms of data that could make it work fairly well would be a survey to a broad audience at the university.
Okay.
And get a lot of perspectives on that, but ask demographic questions and ask, would you be interested in being interviewed? Because what you've done is you've created a funnel which gives you lots of information and lots of feedback, but it gives you a funnel and a way by which to purposefully select those people that want to be interviewed.
Okay.
Because you've asked them the demographics, you've got a broad pool and a big pool to pull from, and they will be volunteers because they won't even give any identifying information unless they want to be interviewed. And from
so he's going to have a big number.
People,
yeah.
You can from everybody who says yes, I wouldn't mind being interviewed. Then you can look at the demographics on their survey and say, does this person fit my profile?
So for the survey, like, what would be a good number? It's like, need 50 people, 100 people. I would be probably as many as there at the university.
Right. And the truth of the matter is, if this is the kind of thing that can be collected on SurveyMonkey or a similar instrument or Google, whatever, that automatically does the number crunching for you, then you could actually rather conveniently send it out to the university, as long as the university itself gives you permission.
Correct. I've definitely gotten permission to study such as this.
There's going to be a few questions that are demographics to help you select your 6 participants. And then each form of data is actually going to inform the next round. So you're going to do the survey first, and that informs your selection. You're going to be very purposeful in selecting those volunteers. It already gives you some perspective, because some of those questions get to the heart of are you struggling to stay in school and why kinds of questions, right? And you can ask them about their peers too, not it's their experience, but what do you see around you, and they let them give you some information. But that survey flows down into the interviews. So now you've got 6 people who volunteered, and so you can actually look at their individual data before the interview and really go deep. Tell me your story. And that's that phenomenological approach. So what we've done is purposeful selection through the survey, and now we're getting their stories. And then you're going to analyze the interview data and compare and contrast cases, and finally there's a focus group where you pull these 6 people into the same room and say, here's what I'm hearing from you guys. Here's a pattern, here's a trend, here's something that seems to be the case. Is that what I'm seeing? And that's your member check and a focus group at the same time.
Okay.
So, when you think about this work, take those 3 forms of data and put arrows between them.
Right.
Survey leads to interviews, leads to focus group, and the whole time you're analyzing, you're getting big picture stories, and then trends, and checking to make sure that you understand their story right. That's it. Now, your paper has pieces in there, but it never really flowed like that. Does that make sense,
Okay.
Ron?
Could you give me an example of like just how it should better flow, or?
Yeah. I tell the story. Now that we've got a flow between these items, they're not just, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. Tell the story in the chronological order that you're going to do it.
Yeah. So you're going to start with, I'm going to do a big survey with this
focusing
many
on
people.
how the relationship between what the survey is going to do, what you're going to do with the interviews, and what you're going to do with the focus group, and the specific reason for each one of them. And this is a cool, interesting project. It has all the pieces that you had envisioned. It's just they're better connected, and each one will better inform the others.
And Ron, this has helped me just as much as it's helped you to sit there. And sometimes it's good to step back and get a fresh pair of eyes on things. So I know you and I are going to get together. I would think if we can even do it very, very soon, and we can go over it even more. But I definitely have a clearer picture.
Yeah.
Again,
So
survey, big survey, interviews, focus,
and the interconnectedness.
Okay. All right.
And so how you write the paper is probably more clear, and I wouldn't have been able to tell you all of this until this point, just because I didn't have it until I heard from both of you individually and then together, and then I went, oh, okay, I see it.
Yeah. Yeah. We were around it, Ron.
It's going to be a natural flow. It's going to work together to build the picture and provide that phenomenological study that you've wanted to do. And I think if you do some quality writing over the next few days, you could probably get that proposal out of the way.
Yeah.
Sure.
The goal is to finish before December. So whatever I need to do to work with you all to accomplish that, that's definitely what I'm going to do.
Well, let's start with the proposal and get that done in the next
Yeah,
week,
one
hopefully.
step at a time.
And
And
One step at a time. Yes, absolutely.
in the proposal, you should probably have include as an appendix a list of questions that you intend to ask in the survey.
Okay.
One, because that'll help you think things through, but two, because as soon as your proposal is accepted, then you've got to send that to IRB, and they need some way to think about it, and so they'll need that. So that'll knock two birds out with one stone.
Dr. Taylor, on his survey that he's going to send out to the big chunk of people, is that just an open-ended survey or a Likert survey, or does it matter?
I am thinking about probably a combination.
Okay.
Because
Right.
because you can't really be phenomenological without telling a story.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. And so your interesting cases are you're going to ask for a sentence or two, not a whole story, but that will trigger some things. And so the survey, most of the data will be immediate, and some of it you'll need to analyze some. But you're not going to leave it open for writing essays. You don't have to.
Yeah. Now, Ron, just so you know, and I'm pretty sure about this, Dr. Taylor, you're recording this, correct, Dr. Taylor?
Oh, I wish I was.
Oh, you weren't? Okay. Oh, that's all right. Sorry.
Maybe I am.
I think you are.
Maybe
That's what I saw.
I think it automatically did it.
Oh, wonderful. If we
back out of the paper, and now I'll see the regular screen.
Sure.
I was gonna say, if you are Dr. Taylor, just in case, I forget what was said, just so I make sure, because I want to definitely try to hit on all the points that you brought up today. Just to conserve time and to make sure I'm hitting on the points, not around the points. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes.
He'll send us a link.
And I'll send you a link to it. Here's the absolutely most important thing right here.
Survey.
Survey goes to the interview. Feeds into the interview.
To the interview.
You know how to pick your sample based on the survey.
Okay.
That feeds into the interview, and then those are individual interviews, and then you get with the group. And after you've analyzed all of this data, you get with the group and say, is this right? What else do you need to tell me?
Yeah,
and so the focus group is pretty simple, but really important, because it increases your trustworthiness, and it gives them one last opportunity to tell you something about their story.
Okay.
So every stage of this, you do some analysis. You collect data, analyze, make decisions, collect data, analyze, make decisions, collect the last bit of data, and check everything. So
data, analyze, decisions. There we go.
Yeah, this is very helpful.
Up till now, it's looked like you were going to do interviews, and the rest of it just was kind of there. And so if I didn't see a flowing way of analyzing and collecting all, but we've got that, and it's all the pieces that you had. It's just now they're connected better, and you just got to write it up that way. So yes, I will put this recording up on YouTube and send you a link.
Awesome.
Oh, it's gonna have 1 million hits, baby.
1 million hits.
Well, see, you're
Dr.
doing
Taylor. I can't thank you enough.
Good work.
Yeah.
I probably will make it private, so only Only we will see it, but
That'll work. But
all right.
I really do appreciate this.
All
It
right.
helps just focus the entire project.
All right,
Excellent.
Ron, why don't you step off? Just go ahead and leave the room, and I will
Okay.
talk to Dr. G about next steps. But
Yeah.
I think you're going to be okay.
All righty,
Yeah.
sounds good. Thank you, Dr. Taylor. Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez.
We'll talk to you soon, Ron. Text me and we'll get together.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you, gentlemen.